So after 2 years of waiting and longing and begging Rockstar, we are finally able to be a criminal in Red Dead Online. So the Red Dead Online Blood Money DLC is now live. It's been out now for the last couple of weeks and I've had a chance to play it. I've played the first opportunity mission and I've seen what's happening with the other opportunity missions, as well as I've played over most of the contracts, and I have to say I am severely underwhelmed. I didn't really know if I was going to make this video because just the sheer disappointment of this update and its lack of stuff really rubbed me the wrong way. Maybe it was over expectation for the game or something like that, but I really didn't like it. So now I've had a bit of time to think about what my real thoughts are on this update and where I think Rockstar is hopefully going to go with it. So, the Blood Money DLC, it was not as big as expected. The main bulk of the content was the new crimes, which are basically just stranger missions which we've had from launch, reskinned in some regards. There are some new and more unique ones in the form of the contracts, but there's only about 3 of those, 4 now actually, free on release. Those are alright, but they boil down to basically being stranger missions with added steps a lot of the time. The way you make your capitale, fuck, I hate that word so much. You hear it so much in this update, it's so fucking grinding. But yeah, so capitale, that is our new currency in Red Dead Online. How do you earn this currency, you wonder? You don't earn this currency via just completing missions. You have to physically go into these specific missions, loot specific areas in those missions which you're not going to know about. You just need to sort of loot everything if you aren't looking up guides and stuff. And you'll hopefully, because it's not even a guarantee, that you'll find between like 1 to 3 capitale per mission. And as I say, it's not even guaranteed. Then the mission can pay as normal, exactly the same as a stranger mission, with the gold payouts capped at the 12-minute mark, you know, to get your maximum payout, as well as then your money payout and XP payout. So that's the way you do that. You have no definitive way to make capitale. You just have to play these missions and hope for the fucking best, really and truly. So the reason to get capitale too is the only thing you can really spend capitale on is the chance to play the opportunity missions. So the whole fact of keeping some of the best content locked behind a reward that you're not even going to be set to get, like you have to grind out this capitale to get like at least 10 or 15 it is for the opportunities missions, and the opportunities missions aren't even that good. The best way I've seen them described, and I believe it was Hazard, I have a wee picture of him up on screen or something like that. It was Hazard who sort of quantified them as the crimes or the stranger missions, with you having a legendary bounty as the opportunities. There has been 1 from launch, and I believe from the time I'm making this video there's now 2 more. 1 has just came out, I can't even remember the name. But then we also have the Ember of the East is the other newer one. The original one was the Covington Emerald opportunity. So basically what it is you have the rough outline of a story of Guido Martelli wants you to collect this capitale because it's an exclusive form of currency among thieves, basically, which every criminal somehow has their hands on. Not enough of it though, apparently. So you have to collect this capitale to give it back to Guido, so Guido gives you the opportunity to work for him more. Because when you're doing these opportunity missions, they're structured sort of like heists, but they're like more like bounty hunter missions. You literally go to an area, look for an item, find item, and escape. And that's basically the whole structure, to boil it down. So yeah, but you're going after these free jewels, which is tied to something of Guido wanting to get back at the guy running for mayor in Saint Denis, and so you have to help him collect these jewels, which are meant to go to some show, as well as other opportunities that have a different content in them. I haven't seen those specific ones yet, but it's probably go to A, kill B, type of thing. So that's really all it is, and you don't get the emerald, you don't have to get to sell the emerald, you get about the same amount of money as you would get from a legendary bounty. But why do these missions other than the variation of having to do them, when you can just do a legendary bounty right out the gate way easier? It doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, that's been my sort of introductory rant. So I hope you have enjoyed listening to my absolute shit for the last wee bit. But moving on, I just want to talk about a lot of the stuff. So it wasn't as big as we expected it to be. You have these crimes, you have these opportunities. There's not a lot of overall content, especially in the mission structure. There's nothing really story-wise to bind you to it that I've played so far. There's nothing really good in terms of rewards or outstanding like rewards. We don't have properties yet. We don't have not a large variation of new clothes. I don't think there was any new items per se that weren't linked to being one or two hats from doing the opportunities missions, as well as then the outlaw pass or the quick draw club or whatever the fuck they want to call it nowadays. And that's really all the content we have at the minute. Which wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for the fact that Red Dead Online has been slowly dying a painful death for the last wee while, because Rockstar don't want to put the effort into Red Dead Online to make it good, to make it as good as GTA Online, or even attempt to bring players in that could benefit from it. And I think that's where a lot of the issue is. I think there is a lot of resources brought to GTA Online, and the Red Dead Online staff are just swamped. They can't get content out because all the big projects that they need resources for, they just don't have the resources for, so they can't do it. Because I don't think that developers are the problem here. I think this is more of an executives thing. But as I say, there's not a lot of content here. Some of the decisions I think are a little bit bullshit, like the Capitale way, have to earn Capitale to do things. But overall, it's not bad. It's decent missions if it came out 2 years ago. Once we had stranger missions and we got through our initial batch of story content, we should have been able to go straight into these crimes and opportunities. Because at least then, you know, that feels like a natural progression of events. You're playing these story missions, you're doing these things for Jessica Leclerc, you end up meeting Guido, as you do, and then he gets you to do some things for him. So you're sort of working to him, you're working to Jessica, you're doing that stuff, and then you start adding in the roles. So we get the initial Frontiers Pursuit roles, we get the Moonshiner, we get the Naturalist, and the Bounty Hunter expansion eventually. So then, I think if we did it by that stage, if we were like at that stage now, but we're just off the back of some of those DLCs and stuff, obviously, Naturalist and Bounty Hunter expansion were a wee bit overwhelming, or underwhelming, sorry, should I say. But overall, it wouldn't be too bad, and we would be sort of in a general good sense of progression if we were going to go by the same time scale. So going from that, I don't know why this update was so small, and I don't know what Rockstar's doing or thinking, or not Rockstar, or Tech2 are doing to make it, that has them thinking that this is going to be a viable way to keep this game alive. Because I do think they want to keep this game alive. I don't think they want to just leave the game to die, as I've seen many people say or insinuate. I think they do want to grow this as we progress, but I don't think they're going about it in anywhere near the right way. Moving on from that, I think the main concern for, or the main problem for a lot of fans was that they expected more. If there was substantial content, this would have been a decent update. I wouldn't even say this would be a great update if they were able to add more stuff, but it would be decent, because I think a lot of people's problems is it doesn't add enough to the game. It doesn't change up the meta. It didn't add new guns. It barely added any new clothes, no new properties, no new interactions, other than these very, very basic Stranger Mission-esque missions, which are very similar to content we already have. And I think that's where the issue comes in. Hopefully, eventually now, we can get to the stage where Rockstar can have substantial content in the game, that then whenever updates come out, you know, it's a big deal. They can put the time and the effort in for big updates. And whether that's a result of the pandemic or that's a result of any other type of issue, I think that's where it's mainly rooted from. So, moving on, away from some negatives. As I say, it's a decent update. It's small, it's quick, it's clean. The way the Quick Draw Club works means that we're going to get a steady flow of content in. I don't even want to properly talk about the Quick Draw Club, for that will be going back into negatives. There's some cool stuff there, but it's not enough to tide us over in the slightest, but it is what it is. Moving on then, we have Room to Grow. This update could be the start of something good. Having Guido as a contact opens the doors to hopefully finding new and different, more interesting characters who have more to do, more to show us, and stuff like that there. So, off the back of Guido, we can maybe get boxing roles or street fighting roles. We could get introduced to the housing market, so buying a property. Maybe we're not able to buy a farm at the start, we can just buy a small shack in Saint Denis, or a small apartment in Saint Denis, a small shack outside somewhere. But he could be the way to get us onto that ladder. I don't personally think that we should next be getting houses or apartments. I think we should be starting with really fleshing out the camp mechanics, building the camp, making it a really good place that people want to hang out in. Because I'll tell you the honest truth, nobody wants to hang out in your fucking camp. And that's sort of the issue. There's nothing to do in that thing. Nothing fun, nothing good in the sense of like mini games or stuff like that there, which could be easily added. They were in the story mode, and even if that required, you know, like having a different instance for being in those missions, although I don't think it should be that hard. I think it should be a possible thing to do, especially when you can have the camp be a designated safe zone where you can't use weapons. You should be able to then be allowed to play games. I'm not a developer, I don't know how possible that is, but I think it should be. We should have stuff to do at these camps. We should be incentivized to spend time at the camp as well as out in the world. It would give us a good sense of progression, it would give us things to do, add more stuff into the camps that we can do there, whether that be like missions or roles or new NPCs. Another thing I really want to add is NPCs and that, but I've explained all that and what I want from the game in other videos. But moving on, Guido can get us into like, you know, that street fighting sort of thing, doing that there. That can be a good, maybe a role or a new sense of progression type of thing, career opportunity, whatever you want to call it. And then we can move on from that, possibly going into bigger heists that Guido sets up for us, or works with us to get in contact with someone who is gonna be like the Lester, who helps us build these heists, takes a small little kickback, and that's really it. We can plan these things out, we can have multiple approaches, you can really dive deep into that, especially since they have the formula down in GTA. Going on from that, what I hope at the minute is that this is the in-between before we get to a big update. Whether that be houses, properties, new roles, big heists, whatever it is, I hope this is just the in-between to get us there. The worst thing that could happen now is if we get another update and it's the trader role expansion, or the fucking collector expansion. Just very minimal add-ons to already existing content, because that seems to be what Blood Money is. So hopefully moving on we do get like brand new rules, or if we're going to get those expansion-esque rules, we get them for all the rest of the rules in a batch. I would rather have the trader rule expansion, the collector expansion, the moonshiner expansion, and the naturalist expansion all in the one thing. Because as the naturalist, you don't have a lot to do with, like, say, herbs and stuff. So you could have that be a thing. So that, or even add it as another role, the herbalist, the herbologist. You could have a survivalist role. You could have all these different things that Rockstar is not tapping into, and they can, and they should. But yeah. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to get this video out there. It's a lot of ramble. It's a lot of me talking shit, because I didn't write out a script. I just have some notes in front of me here, and I'm throwing some gameplay in the background, and that's all this is. But I needed to get a video out. I needed to talk about this in some shape or form, and fucking video quality be damned. But yeah. Anyway, guys, if you like my rambling and me talking a lot of shit, come follow me on Twitch. We do have the Twitch going. I stream there very, very often. A lot more often than you'll ever see me here, to be fair, at the minute. I do have some planned videos for the future, but those are future projects that will come out later on. If you want to keep up to date with me and what I'm doing, you can join the Discord. I will have a link in the description, as well as the Twitch link. But if you like this video, I do hope that you subscribe, show me that this is worth doing, and that I might just pick up my game and make more content. And drop us a like if you like the video, and comment any thoughts you have on this game, whether you think this game can get better, worse, if it's already dead. I'd love to hear what you guys have to think about it. Have to say about it. But anyway, without further ado, I'll see y'all later. Peace.